Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about how to make feedback clear. Are you ready? Let's get started. There's an exercise that I often do with groups of leaders or coaches where we're talking about what are the keys to making feedback successful. And I do an interactive exercise where the group comes up with many of the suggestions about what will make feedback most effective. And one of the things that always makes that list is feedback ought to be clear. Well, I agree that feedback ought to be clear, and I thought today that I'd see if I could make that idea just a little bit clearer. All right, I've got 4 things for you today to think about how to make feedback clear. And here's the first one. Be clear yourself. Like if you walk in to give someone some feedback and you stumble around about what you really mean, you're not even clear in your own mind. How can they possibly be clear? So to be clear yourself in giving the feedback means to step back and think about it. It probably means writing something down so that it's described in a way that will make sense to the other person. In other words, it's got to be clear. You've got to make it clear to you before you have any chance of making it clear to the other person. But that's not enough. Clarity in your mind isn't enough. So when we're talking about making feedback clear, it's not about whether we think it's clear. It's got to be clear to the other person, right? Clarity is about the other person. So here's one way to think about that. Ask yourself this question as you're trying to get clarity yourself. Ask yourself, what does the videotape show? Now, when I think about that idea of what does the videotape show, it makes me think of one of my favorite sets of commercials.
What you got there, Duke?
Jay and Duke talking action figures. My idea.
Love it. Let's see what I say.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I just love that line. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Like, I just love that. And that's really the thing that goes into my head as I'm getting ready to give someone feedback is, what would the bean footage be? What would the feedback, what would be clear? What will help them know what I really mean? In other words, the feedback to be clear needs to be about the behavior. Not about something that you interpreted from what they did. Not about labeling them, but about the behavior itself, making it clear. And the last and maybe most important of all thing, and the other 3 things lead up to this 4th thing, is that mutual understanding equals clear feedback. Yeah, see, what do I mean by mutual understanding? Well, listen to this.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal.
You've probably seen that great clip from that great movie, A Few Good Men, more than once. And that's, while the context that you would be giving feedback in would be quite different than that exchange between Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. The idea of are we clear, are we crystal clear is exactly the point. Do we really mutually understand the feedback that we're talking about? Because here's the thing. If you're the person giving the feedback, what do you want the other person to do? Well, you want them to receive the feedback, and then you want them to apply the feedback, right? And listen, if you don't have clarity for them, there's no way that they can apply it, and they probably won't even completely receive it. We want to make feedback clear if we want to have the best chance of there being real action taken. Let me close with today's tweet. Feedback has no chance of impact and change if it isn't clear. Did you know that every week I talk to a leadership expert or successful leader in some walk of life on a podcast? Well, if you didn't know, now's your chance to know that. The Remarkable Leadership Podcast. I do it every week. You got the links right here, or go to iTunes or wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and just look up the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. I'd love to have you join us each week. We talk about leadership, we talk about personal growth, we talk about productivity, we talk about the things that will help make you a more effective leader, and we do it in an engaging and fun way. I hope you'll join me in a future episode.